Hey guys, it's Angelo, and welcome to my Holy Priest guide for patch 8.0 in WoW's newest expansion, Battle for Azeroth. As with all guides that start us out in an expansion, I'm beyond excited to bring this guide to you, as the Holy Priest has seen some very positive changes, with the playstyle remaining essentially the same as it had been in Legion, which is most certainly a wonderful thing, as the Holy Priest can be considered the foundation of healing in World of Warcraft. Special thanks to Niffer, guide writer on Icy Veins and Holy Priest moderator on the Warcraft Priests Discord, the links are of course in the description, for sharing his knowledge to increase the value and the experience you'll gain through this guide. Now, as previously, the Holy Priest offers an interesting mixture of healing gameplay with strong single target healing spells, as well as very strong group healing abilities, making for a very versatile and all-round healer, which can be placed in any situation without truly struggling. In this guide, we'll be going over the Holy Priest's changes from Legion to Battle for Azeroth, the stat priority you'll want to be aiming for, your talents in various situations, your spell priorities in different situations, and the pros and cons of the spec. Now, as with the Shadow Priest and the Discipline Priest guides, this video will cover our spell priority and rotation thoroughly, but if you want a more detailed look at our spell priorities and healing rotation, when to change your playstyle or how to respond to incoming damage in different situations, be sure to check out my Holy Priest rotation guide. The link should pop up on your screen now and is in the description box below. Now, I don't want to hold you up any longer, so with that being said, let's go right ahead and have a look. Now, as just mentioned, fortunately nothing has shaken the Holy Priest out of its formidable and very balanced form from Legion as it came into BFA. That being said though, our artifact weapon has been removed, and with it, so have been all of the previous artifact traits, as well as our artifact ability, Light of Tu'ure. Some artifact traits have been reimagined into talents, and those would be Cosmic Ripple and Angel's Mercy, which the latter shares the effect of times and measures, the former artifact trait. Old talents have also been removed, like Body and Mind, Divinity, and Piety, while Symbol of Hope now being a baseline ability. The removal of Light of Tu'ure as an artifact, as well as the ability itself, is definitely very apparent, but in my personal opinion gets evened out again with the new talents, which we'll cover in a bit, and the evening out of the healing output in total. Mass Dispel has received a relatively important change, as its cooldown has been increased to 45 seconds from previously 15. Another interesting change we may as well talk about now rather than later is the change that has been undertaken with Apotheosis. Apotheosis now only lasts 20 seconds from previously 30, however it now increases the cooldown reduction to your holy words by a staggering 300% and reducing their cost completely. Though its duration is shorter now, this makes Apotheosis a very potent talent in situations where you need to act quickly and effectively, first and foremost of course in Mythic Plus. Fortunately, the global cooldown changes which came in Battle for Azeroth are not as apparent on the Holy Priest, except that Apotheosis is now on the global cooldown, but most of our spells have been on the global cooldown already anyways. Essentially, those were all of our large changes, and as you can tell, I wasn't lying when I said that the changes to the Holy Priest had been held relatively short. Good. That being said though, let's go ahead and look into our stat priority. The stat priority for the Holy Priest varies slightly depending on the content you do. Intellect is far ahead of the secondary stats though, as the stat weights of all of our stats have been greatly shifted, making any primary stat a lot stronger than secondary ones at this point. That being said, when looking at rating, after Intellect comes Mastery, which in this case is Echo of Light, which causes your direct healing spells to heal for an additional amount over the next 6 seconds based on your Mastery amount. After Mastery comes Critical Strike and then Haste. Critical Strike is very beneficial on a Holy Priest, as it also increases the amount you heal with your Mastery. Haste, on the other hand, reduces both your global cooldown as well as your cast time. Both of these factors are already great, but on top of that, Haste also allows your renew to tick more often the more haste you have. Versatility, as with all classes and specs, is a simple damage, healing, and survivability increase. In dungeons, especially in Mythic Plus dungeons, your stat weights will be a little different, as fights there will be held much shorter and instantly engaging as those in a raiding environment, and since drinking mana shifts the importance of mana away to a less important factor than it is in raids, you'll want to be going for intellect, then haste, then critical strike or versatility, these two are pretty much on par, and finally mastery. Good. Try your best to stick to the stat priority in the according environment, so while raiding or during Mythic Plus, and you'll be off perfectly fine. Your talents, just like your stat priority, very much rely upon the content you're doing, making the Holy Priest very diverse, obviously when talking about talents. In your level 15 talent row, you'll want to typically use Enlightenment for raids, while using Trail of Light for Mythic Plus. Enlightenment is great for managing your mana, while Trail of Light is strong when mana is not that much of an issue, which will be the case in Mythic Plus. Enduring Renewal is comparatively weak at the moment, especially so because Binding Heal no longer refreshes Renew on its targets. Making this talent only really viable is when it's paired with Benediction, one of your level 90 talents. Next up, in your level 30 talent row, you have Utility and Survivability talents, while Angelic Feather here is the most versatile in its use. Angel's Mercy is pretty strong in Mythic Plus, especially in higher level keys, while Perseverance can be pretty strong, but gets hindered by the fact that Renew isn't cast that often, or rather often enough, to make the talent effective. On your level 45 talent row, Cosmic Ripple will be most effective in raids, as it causes you to heal 5 injured targets whenever your Holy Word Sanctify or your Holy Word Serenity are back up from their cooldown. Guardian Angel is pretty strong in Mythic Plus dungeons, as the reduced cooldown on Guardian Spirit is incredibly helpful and can make the important change between life and death in any situation. Afterlife has dropped from its former glory in Legion, and now, without the Legendary Cloak strengthening it, it is relatively weak. Next up, in our level 60 talent row, all 3 options are actually very good. The choice here is entirely up to you and to the situation you find yourself in, therefore I'll leave this choice entirely to you. Your level 75 talent row sees Binding Heal as your go-to option while raiding due to its mana efficiency and synergy with Holy Word Sanctify and Holy Word Serenity, as it reduces their cooldown. In dungeons, Surge of Light will be more optimal due to the increase of mobility it gives you when you're required to heal, while Circle of Healing can actually be an option for both raiding and dungeons. The good thing about Circle of Healing is that it can not only be cast while moving, it also heals 5 allies, so your target and 4 close allies to that one at once, but does not reduce the cooldown of your Holy Words, making both Surge of Light and Binding Heal more preferable. In your level 90 talent row, we find ourselves with 2 strong talents once more, and one which struggles slightly. Benediction is strong when you use Prayer of Mending frequently, but this essentially means that you need to keep Prayer of Mending on cooldown, which you should be doing anyways. Divine Star is useful when in a dungeon environment, as both the damage and the healing are beneficial in a setting like this pretty much at all times. Halo, on the other side, is great for healing in raids, as it spreads its healing and its damage in all directions, which is especially strong if you can position yourself so that Halo hits as many players and enemy as possible, and this is of course also the case if you want to use it in Mythic Plus. Finally, we find ourselves in our level 100 talent row with Light of the Naru, which is a very easy to use talent as it is completely passive and offers a solid increase to your overall throughput. Apotheosis, on the other hand, has become incredibly strong in Mythic Plus dungeons, as mentioned before, due to its strength to solve emergency situations with your Holy Words, while also reducing their mana cost. Holy Word Salvation is incredibly strong in raids, as it serves as a second raid cooldown in your kit. Its regular 12-minute cooldown is not really cut out for Mythic Plus, but in a raid, and due to the frequent use of your Holy Words, can be reduced to anywhere between 4 to 5 minutes. So, with our talents discussed and gone over, now let's look at our healing priorities. Here, not too many things have changed in comparison to Legion either, since, as mentioned before, the Holy Priest has remained very similar in its essence. As with most healers, the way you respond to a situation will change with the amount of incoming damage. When there is not much damage coming in, you should be using Smite and Holy Fire in order to deal a bit of damage, and using Heal to counter the damage that will come in will suffice. This will change with more damage, which is when you'll start to weave Flash Heal into your rotation in order to counter that incoming damage quicker, though at the cost of more mana. Prayer of Mending should be kept on cooldown as much as you can manage keeping it this way right from the start of the fight. With low incoming damage, you can set up heavier healing phases by applying Prayer of Mending during this time, so always be sure to plan ahead accordingly by keeping POM on cooldown as much as possible. Holy Word Serenity, even though strong when not much damage is coming in, should be used as much as possible, while you also want to try and not overheal with it in order to heal as effectively as possible. Your spell usage will become more interesting once too much damage comes in to just out-heal via single target spells. If this starts to be the case, Holy Word Sanctify should be used frequently, as well as Prayer of Healing. Of course, you should continue using Holy Word Serenity and, in emergency situations, Flash Heal. However, you need to be aware of your mana. All your group healing abilities, especially so your Holy Words, will drain your mana quickly if used without thought. On screen now, you will also see a list of cooldowns we have at our disposal, be it small ones like Halo, or larger ones like Divine Hymn, or even Holy Word Salvation. Now, if you want a more detailed look at when to use your cooldowns and where they'll be the most effective, be sure to check out my Holy Priest priority video with the link in the description and on screen now, but the essentials of your healing priorities are relatively easy to follow and will keep you and your group safe and on your feet. Now, with all of these things in your knowledge repertoire, you should be well suited to heal with a Holy Priest. As mentioned before, the Holy Priest has the huge advantage of being the very foundation of healing in World of Warcraft, and in Battle for Azeroth, this becomes very clear. The spec is well suited to deal with single target healing situations with spells like Holy Word Serenity and Flash Heal, while being better suited for raid healing with very strong spells like Holy Word Sanctify, Binding Heal, Divine Star, or Prayer of Mending in the spec's toolkit and at its disposal. Overall, the Holy Priest is a solid choice for any player who aims to be a strong, versatile, and flexible healer in any situation thrown at them, be it in Mythic Plus or while raiding. What do you guys think? Do you like the Holy Priest and its playstyle, and if so, why? Would you like to see things change in the future perhaps, with which you think the gameplay may become more engaging to you personally? Let me know in the comments below, or join our discussion over on Discord, where fellow priests of all specs share their insights, ideas, and thoughts on anything involving the beloved class. As always, thank you so much for watching, and if this guide was helpful to you, be sure to leave a like as it goes a very long way, and if you wish to see more of my content in the future, feel free to subscribe. Special thanks to my patrons over at Patreon for their continuous and unwavering support. You guys help out a lot. Now, have a good one, my friends, enjoy your journey into Battle for Azeroth, and I will see you all in the next one.